The key point here is that you can complain and complain, but unless you do something about it, it is not going to change. So if your marketing isn't working, what are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do differently? You've got to look at it in the face and really see what's working, what's not working, and figure out why it's not working. And if you're not getting enough leads, what are you going to do to change that? If you're a salesperson and your marketing department isn't delivering enough, what are you going to do to change it? So today's episode I was inspired to do just because I had someone who recently said to me, I can't seem to find enough clients, or I'm not getting enough leads. And so I was inspired to do this because I thought, well, let's talk about that, because as a business owner, I'm sure you can relate to this as well, that you find that you're not getting enough quality leads, or you have a sales team that's complaining to you, asking for more leads or for better quality leads. Why am I not getting enough leads? And none of these people are ready to buy. So these are common things, right? That you'll hear in business. And maybe you're not there at all, and that's great. And you don't even need to listen to this, although you might still get something out of it. But I wanted to talk about this because there were a few things. I thought, well, let's really, do a little bit of a deeper dive to understand the definition here of qualified or not qualified. What are some things that we can do? And also, are you just sitting there waiting for leads to come in? What kind of action are you actually taking to get more clients? So that's what I'm talking about today. So here's the thing. Whether it's you or you have a sales team, it's not just your fault or just their fault. And I really want to talk about what's going on here and how you can work together to solve this problem. One of the biggest problems that people will complain about is that their leads aren't ready to pull the trigger and buy right away. They're just browsing and shopping around. And maybe this is happening within your business where the lead is going straight to the salesperson without any kind of a warm up. And so your sales team is going, well, wait a minute, why did they even come to me? Why am I even jumping on the phone with them? They're not even clear what we can do for them. They just booked this call with me. Well, the thing is that maybe in this situation, they need some more nurturing and more warming up. Just because they aren't ready right now doesn't mean that they won't be. And in previous episodes, I did a marketing series where I went deep into building a high converting marketing lead funnel so that by the time the lead reaches the person on the phone, your salesperson or you, they are ready. But even if you have that built out, sometimes people get straight to the salesperson, whether it's some type of marketing material, they just jumped right through to I want to talk to somebody on the phone, which is fine. And that can be great, but it yields to frustration when they're not ready. But that's okay because you can still nurture them. It doesn't mean that you should let them go. So what happens is salespeople get frustrated. They don't nurture them and they continue to wait for only the low-hanging fruit. But that's like a whole bunch of wasted opportunity. And so how can you nurture them so that you can make sure you don't just let them go? Because eventually they may very well be ready to buy. Remember, they raised their hand. They're interested in something. Maybe they're not ready to pull the trigger, but keep giving them some value. And I don't even mean in an automated drip email sequence, which lots of things you can automate, and that's great. There's lots of ways to nurture, and I'm a huge fan of that. But if it's somebody that you've already talked to on the phone, What about giving them more value in a very personal way so that they start to build a relationship with you and have that trust with you? So what are things that you can do? Maybe you do have some templates of emails or free downloads or pieces of information that can really help them just the tiniest bit in the direction that they need. And how can you deliver that to them in a really personal way so that they feel like you really heard them in the conversation you had? So then the next complaint, though, will be from salespeople. Well, they're just not qualified at all, though. Like, they're just not qualified. They're never going to be a client of ours. So look, as much as we can target certain audiences, and even that can be really difficult, especially on social media, if you're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, with all the different algorithms and rules being changed on a consistent basis. If you are getting seen, you will get seen by your ideal customers, but you're also going to get seen by your not so ideal customers. It happens. But salespeople will say, well, it's a waste of time and I don't want to spend my energy on these people that aren't qualified because they can't afford us. They're just not going to be our customer. And so then they'll complain to you about it, that they're not getting qualified leads. So if you are getting this complaint and if you're seeing this, it's a really great time to reevaluate your marketing to see what percentage of your leads coming in are unqualified versus those that are, and make sure that you've got a good measure of here's what a qualified lead looks like. If it's higher than normal that you're getting so many unqualified leads, then maybe it's time to look at your messaging and who you're really talking to. Are you hitting the pain points with their language, the language that they use in your marketing? And maybe that's shifted. Maybe the conversation has changed. I mean, things changed all the time. Sometimes you have a certain language that you're speaking, but something happens in the world, like we've had in this past year. Something different happens and their language is a little bit different and they have a different pain point. It's tweaked. So how, are you speaking to that pain point? And if you are the salesperson yourself, then understand the way that you market will always be shifting. And sometimes, I know for me, it feels faster and faster. It's like things don't stick for a super long time. You've got to constantly be reevaluating who your audience is. What are they talking about today versus yesterday? And you've got to stay on top of it. But that means that there's going to be waves of really great qualified leads, and then there's going to be waves of not so good leads. It's going to happen, and I will say this, expect that it will. Don't think that, oh my gosh, I'm always doing something wrong. Expect that these waves will happen, and you're going to learn from all of them. Hey guys, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Backstage Business Podcast. I wanted to let you know that this episode is brought to you by The Draw Shop. At The Draw Shop, we make animated videos that just work. Did you know that most businesses are struggling to increase their sales simply because they don't stand out? At The Draw Shop, we use a scientifically proven formula to create animated videos that just work. With customers such as Uber, Twitter, Google, United Nations, Lockheed Martin, Netflix, and more, we know that creating messages that are impossible to misunderstand, it's critical to attracting more customers and keeping your audience engaged so that you can stand out as the best in your industry. Find out more information at thedrawshop.com. Okay, the next one is the big one that they complain about. I mentioned it before. I'm not getting enough leads. Not getting enough leads. If you're the director of marketing or you're the owner of a business and you have sales reps working for you that just want to close deals all day long, you are going to get this complaint at one time or another. Why? Because no matter what, salespeople want more leads. Always, all the time. This is how they win, and they'll take on more than they probably should actually have because they need to spend time with the leads that they're given. However, they want more, because they know that the more they get, the more chances they have at closing more deals. This is not a bad thing. This is a great thing. You want them to want to be hungry on closing deals. You want to be that way yourself. So as a marketer, your challenge is to bring in the leads, the good quality leads, right? This is like your big thing that you need to do. And salespeople will kind of look at it like, let me go to my marketing director and tell him to turn on the faucet again. Can you turn on the faucet of leads? Kind of was slow last week. Can you bring some more? Hey, let me just ask for some more leads, and I'm pretty sure they'll get them. They want their calendars filled with people ready to buy all day long. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here's the thing. There are ways to accomplish that, but it requires a little bit more than turning on the lead faucet. So what do? Again, look at what you currently have in play for marketing and lead sources. Is it working? Can it be improved? Is your messaging speaking to your ideal customer? As a marketer or business owner overseeing the marketing, you have to accept that you don't just set and forget. Even when something is working really, really well, you can't set and forget. You must always keep an eye and measure and test and tweak as needed to get the results that you want. There are too many changes happening with media platforms, and even the current events, like I said earlier, those things are going to affect your marketing and what people are listening to and what's going to grab their attention. So make sure that you have something valuable to meet them where they are at for the people at all stages of the buying journey. So they're in all different stages. They either didn't even realize they had this problem that you solve, or they just became aware of it, or they're looking to solve this problem right away and want to take action. What can you give those people at those various stages of value so that they trust you and continue to trust you until they buy from you? Remember, you want to give them something that is not overwhelming, just something simple that makes them go, wow, that really helped. I wonder what else they've got. What else does she have? Because that actually made a big difference in my business, even though it was so small. You have all of that. You have that in your arsenal. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the business of solving the problem that you solve. You have something small that can really help someone. Give it to them for free so that they trust you. So now, if you're the salesperson, what can you do from here? Well, you have an opportunity to help the marketing department. See, you're on the front line of hearing the most common questions. What are they skeptical about? What are their objections? Where are they struggling? Why are they coming to you? Why weren't they ready to buy? Where do they want to go? And what language are they using to communicate this? See, this stuff, this is like marketing material gold. All of those things. If you can answer all of those things, you have got so many lead magnets in there. You've got so much value that you can offer by just answering one of those things. So it really takes sales and marketing together, both of those departments, whether it's all you, whether it's you and one other person, whether it's two teams, two directors, it takes both of those sides together to address these complaints. And then finally, I'm going to add something else. The key point here is that you can complain and complain, but unless you do something about it, it is not going to change. So if your marketing isn't working, what are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do differently? You've got to look at it in the face and really see what's working, what's not working, and figure out why it's not working. And if you're not getting enough leads, what are you going to do to change that? If you're a salesperson and your marketing department isn't delivering enough, what are you going to do to change it? If you're wanting to close more deals while figuring all of this out, what are you going to do to change it? Will you reach out to past clients to get some repeat business? Will you hunt down your ideal client and do a cold reach out while bringing them value? Hey, I wanted to offer you this amazing report. Also, let's grab a quick 5 minutes on the phone to see if I can further help you. Will you ask for referrals? Who are your favorite clients that you've worked with in the past? How can you bring more value to them while they refer you someone else that's just like them, that has the same needs? These are things that you can be doing all the time even when you have a lot of leads, a lot of high quality leads. What are you willing to do to achieve the results that you're looking for? Because sitting around and waiting for someone to bring you the business is not going to be an effective strategy. It just won't be. There are things that you can do right now to get more business, to get more leads, and to get those high quality leads. But it's not up to somebody else. It's up to you. And then it's up to you to work together with your team. So good on you for listening today. I'm excited for you to go out, get more leads, close more business, work together, and see results. See you next time. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't already done so, would you do me a favor and go subscribe and review this podcast? My goal is to continue to deliver you content that will really move the revenue needle in your business and give you up-to-date content on anything else that can dramatically help your business. You can also find us at thedrawshop.com/podcast, where you can comment on the podcast or contact us directly with any issues you'd like me to address. Thanks again. I really, really appreciate you listening, and I'll see you next time.